Welcome back to Commercial Finance Experts Academy. Today's video is going to be the second video regarding the multi-unit rental and development of these type of property and how it can be the key player to help finance and put things together for the developers and project managers and all that involved in the project. Now, the challenge is that a lot of these projects they face, whether it's townhouse, mixed use, or low rise, is all the lenders have they have a set of books, for example. Okay, so one thing you may have a look at this challenge is that the amount of I guess what are they on the books right now on the books with each lender. Some lender set aside X amount of percentage of their whole entire balance sheet to be able to finance these type of properties. Some are commercial, some are office, and a big chunk of it goes to residential, right? And car loans and all that. Secondly is, what is the appetite, just not just on the what's on the books right now, but what is the appetite towards industry specific? I believe I mentioned this in other videos as well, is that specific industry. So today we're dealing with the affordable housing, because this is where the category comes in. Now, the coolest thing about affordable housing is this, okay? The amount of units for rent provided with the square footage of property that we're financing. For example, if we were to finance one property, one house in Vancouver, it's going to cost $1.2, say $1.5 million, or even $2 million for that matter, depends on where it's located, to build. Rent will not debt service, right? So in multi-units, debt servicing is less of an issue, right? Debt servicing. Reason why? Well, you already know, you figured out, right? How many units is in there? For example, the last project I did was 12 units plus 2 commercial below, so that's about 14 plus simple office in the back, 15 units. All I know is getting financing for 15 units in a building that's worth, I think that I got the loan for about $4.8 million. $4.8 million is a lot easier to finance with 15 units for rent than it is $2 million house or two, right? It just is. It's the numbers just don't add up, right? The other thing is also if they're 90% of them are residential, CMHC can come into play, right? Most of these buildings, depend on the ratio itself, are typically be able to get residential CMHC financing, and the rates in terms will be much lower than even a single family detached house to finance on the residential side. Yes, on the commercial side, we're not going to look into that, but the amount of units and the amount of rent you get from that helps with the end payout. So once the construction is done, they also want to pre-qualify ahead of time how much dollar value of this property can be done at the end of stage when it's completed, right? The lenders that do construction financing, typically most of them don't want it on the books. They just recycle the money and keep churning it over for the next project. That's how they make money, right? In the short term, they get high interest and the fees up front. I don't know. It sounds a great business to me as well. What's the other? The other thing too is the coolest thing that I saw is that when you were looking at affordable housing, CBC is involved, right? And if you understand that there is a way, I'll touch base on the next video, is to leverage that key component. Why it's very important that if it's residential units and the clients are intending to have it CMHC insured and also offer market rents, and it's not going to be like high-end stuff, then lenders love you even more. And I'll talk more about it in the next video. But as you can see, whether it's townhouses, mixed use, or low-rise apartment building, all residential, every lender have their own little favorite, and whether they want to help or not, it all depends on how much they're very loaned out. And if they're in the community and they're pro-business, like Fancy Credit Union is, then they like the mixed use that has the commercial component. But if you're a bank lender, which don't like to deal with residential components, and they only want to deal with commercial, they're probably not be the most likely going to give you an approval that you like. They may give it a letter of interest, a discussion letter, but at the end of it, they really are not pro these type of property. They'd rather do 100% commercial. They don't want to do with residential and mixed with commercial. It's just too much work for them. They have separate divisions for those things, and they don't want to have two teams taking care of $2-3 million property. They're interested in $20-30 million office building, $23-30 million retail mall, right? So this stuff they might not be interested in. So just understand that. So the type of lender is basically the niche. Niche lender is when you per one, right? Similar to what I mentioned is a credit union, because they are a niche lender, right? They don't have a lot of money to throw around like the big banks do, so they're not going to be competing for those big giant $20-30 million deals to build a commercial office building or even a strip mall. They're not interested in that. They might be when they have lots of money and flush with money, but in this day and age, in this economic cycle, I don't see that happening, right? And if you go out there and you see it as well, and you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the opportunity that we see, and this is what it looks like. The next level would be what's required. Okay, so I'll talk to you about that in the next video. Hope you learned something today. See you in the next one.